James won't find me this time, he thought. Thomas was having fun. Thomas found another good place to hide. James will never find me here, he hooted happily. But then he heard James's whistle again. Bust my buffers, chuffed Thomas. He's found me again. So Thomas puffed off. Thomas had reversed behind some freight cars. James will never find me here, he tooted cheerily. But just then, he saw James come around the bend. Thomas, puffed James. He was very cross. You've left a trail of flour all over the wharf. Cinders and ashes, cried Thomas. I must have biffed the car so hard that the door came loose. Thomas didn't feel cheery anymore. If I've lost all the flour, there'll be no cakes and bread for the children's harvest festival supper, he wished sadly. I'm sorry, James, he chuffed. I'll get you another car of flour. Then you won't be late for the children. Thomas raced away. Thomas puffed and he huffed. He wheeshed and he whooshed. He had to get to the mill as fast as he could. Then there was trouble. When Thomas arrived at the mill, it was closed. Thomas looked around. He could only see empty flour cars. Thomas felt sadder than ever. Dusty Dave, the miller, came to see Thomas. He could see that Thomas was very upset.
I'm going home for my supper now, he told Thomas, but there's one full flour car right at the back.
Thomas saw the flour car, but there were lots of other cars in the way. He needed help. Thomas whooshed back to the wharf. He would have to ask James to help him. James was waiting. He was still very cross. Thomas pulled up alongside him. James, I know you tried to tell me about the flour, and I know I was silly, but now I need your help. James knew that Thomas was sorry, and he knew Thomas needed his help. So they set off for the mill. James and Thomas worked hard. There were lots of freight cars to shunt. But they worked well together, and soon the flour car was coupled up to James. And he raced off. Thomas felt proud of his friend. Later that evening, Sir Topham Hatt stood by a table of wonderful breads and cakes. The children were very excited. Thomas puffed by on his way home. Well done, James, he tooted. And James tooted back. Thomas was pleased James was his friend again. And Thomas smiled all the way back to Tidmouth Sheds. Henry is an engine who runs on special coal, but his tender is almost empty. He needs to collect some more. Where do you think Henry will find his special coal? First, Henry puffs towards the ice cream factory. Do you think he will find his special coal there? Is that coal in Edward's freight car? No, it's ice cream. Henry will find ice cream at an ice cream factory, not coal. Henry puffs towards Farmer McColl's farm. Do you think he will find his special coal here? Is that coal in Toby's freight cars? No, those are chickens. Henry will find chickens at a farm, not coal. Henry has only enough coal to puff towards one more place, the coaling plant. Do you think he will find his special coal there? Is that coal in Thomas's freight cars? Yes. Henry will find his special coal at the coaling plant. That's better. Now Henry has enough special coal to puff happily round the island. The island of Sodor is a wonderful place. Thomas enjoys puffing all over the island. There are lots of special places to visit. Where's this? That's right. It's Knapford Station. Every day is a busy day at Knapford. Carriages rattle and roll, and passengers and porters pack the platforms. Knapford Station is also a place for special events. One day, Sir Topham Hatt presented Gordon with special coaches. Gordon had set a new record for pulling the express. Then Emily arrived with a special prize for Diesel. He had set a new record too. He had shunted more freight cars than any other Diesel. Everyone cheered. Knapford Station is also a place where racers are started. Once, Spencer arrived. He boasted that he was faster than all the Sodor engines. Then Sir Topham Hatt announced that he had a special for Edward. Edward was to take the Duke and Duchess's furniture to their summer house. Spencer wanted to have a race. Edward was worried. Spencer's bigger boiler only means more hot air, tooted Thomas. And by the end of the day, Edward proved that he could win the race. Knapford Station is also very special for one engine, and that's Thomas. It was the day of Sir Topham Hatt's mother's birthday party. All Thomas's ideas for her celebration had gone wrong. Then Thomas had his best idea ever. He would have the party for Sir Topham Hatt's mother at Knapford Station. The station never looked more wonderful. There were flags and flowers and fine food. Thomas gave one toot, and then one after the other. All the engines hooted and tooted and whistled and blew, "Happy birthday to you." Sir Topham Hatt's mother smiled from ear to ear. Thomas thought this was his best idea yet. So that's why Knapford Station is a very special place for Thomas. There are so many special places on the island of Sodor. Next time, Thomas will show us somewhere else.
Take on coal and water to see you through the day, and you'll get used to doing everything the proper way. Whatever job you're doing, make sure you're doing you're going to feel when you go home to Tidmouth Whatever job you're doing, make sure you're doing it right. Start each day the proper way, your polish shining bright. Do your best but still have fun, so when you come home at night, you can say in every way you try to do things right. You can say in every way you try to do things right.
You can often tell whether Thomas is happy or sad. When he's happy, he blows his whistle. When he's sad, he lets out a slow wheesh of steam. See if you can tell whether Thomas is happy or sad. Thomas is arriving at a station. He's late delivering his important load. Does this make Thomas happy or sad? Thomas is wheeshing out steam. Can you remember what that means? That's right. Thomas is sad. Being late with his delivery makes Thomas sad. Now Thomas has another delivery to make, but now he's on time. Does being on time make Thomas happy or sad? He's blowing his whistle. Can you remember what that means? Yes, Thomas is happy. Delivering his load on time makes Thomas happy. Well done, Thomas. A smooth ride. Sir Handel is one of the oldest engines on the island of Sodor. He's a dark blue color and has a big number 3 painted on his side. Sir Handel is also known as one of the smoothest engines on the narrow gauge controllers railway. Sir Handel had been working in the stone quarry all summer. The narrow gauge controller, Mr. Percival, was happy to see him back. "I've got a special for you," Mr. Percival told Sir Handel. "I want you to collect some trucks of apples. You must pull them very carefully or the apples will bruise." "Yes, sir," whooshed Sir Handel, and off he chuffed. At the orchard, Sir Handel was coupled to the trucks. He pulled them away very carefully. He pulled them around the lake, across the stone bridge, and he started to puff up a hill. Then there was trouble. His pistons popped, his traction rods rattled, and his boiler bubbled and bounced. Sir Handel couldn't go on. Peter Sam puffed up behind him. He was worried. "Why have you stopped, Sir Handel?" he whistled. "I have a problem," wheezed Sir Handel sadly. "It happens when I go up hills. I start to rattle and rock, and then I have to stop." Peter Sam felt sorry for his friend. "Could you help me up the hill?" puffed Sir Handel. "Of course I can," peeped Peter Sam. And he pushed Sir Handel and the freight cars of apples all the way up the hill. When Sir Handel arrived at the station, the narrow gauge controller was very pleased. "There's not one bruise on those apples," said the narrow gauge controller. "What a smooth engine you are." Sir Handel was happy that the narrow gauge controller was pleased. so he didn't tell the narrow gauge controller about his problem. "Now I have another special for you," said the narrow gauge controller. "I want you to pick up sheep from the farm."
Yes, sir,
puffed Sir Handel, but he was worried. When Sir Handel arrived at the farm, the farmer was waiting.